Getting a first look tonight at what officers saw when they shot a man on Falkirk Avenue. The shooting happened earlier this month, and it calls into question protocols for responding to individuals having mental health issues in crisis. WMAR 2 News' Abby Isaacs explains.
Does he seem to be completely alert?
Not really. No. He hears voices.
A call to Baltimore Police early in the morning on July 1st. The woman saying her son-in-law is having an episode in the basement and may have a gun. Police and paramedics arrived to Falkirk Road in northeast Baltimore to investigate.
He is a psych patient. He's screaming and raging now.
The mother-in-law tells police she doesn't know if he's currently armed, but explained an incident the month prior where he was naked shooting at cars. After that, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Then 11 days later, this call. Officers find the 33-year-old man in the basement and attempt to de-escalate the situation for 15 minutes.
What's going on, man? I'm distorted because my wife poisoned me. I told my father this the other day. You about to kill me in real life?
I'm not trying to hurt you.
You about to kill me, yo?
We're trying to help you. The medics are upstairs. You want to go
No,
upstairs?
they not. Y'all illegal. What's your name? Can you take down your mask, please? You're inside my house. And if I kill you inside my house, yo, it's legal, yo. You want to die inside my house, yo?
Nobody's not trying to die.
I don't have any. I'm peaceful.
Did you take your medication?
No, yo. That's your thing.
Medication?
At this point, the man pulls out a handgun and points it at one of the officers. So two officers shoot, hitting him multiple times. He's currently recovering at the hospital. Police recovered 8 firearms from the home. When questioned if they could have done more after the initial June incident, Police Commissioner Michael Harrison said they followed protocol. He was arrested and the firearm was recovered.
Since we had no fixed address or permanent residence for him, there was no place for us to go and search for other weapons, but he was given a mental evaluation that night.
Since the shooting, Harrison says they've gotten a lot of questions about the role of crisis intervention specialists.
It's important that we put this incident into context with the realities of the safety of all those involved. Paramedics and EMTs did respond because they were dispatched, and they did a safe scene assessment. At that time, they decided not to enter the residence and waited until police arrived due to being notified that the individual perhaps may have had a gun or was unsure if the individual had a gun.
Harrison says all 3 officers that responded were trained in 3 different behavioral health programs.
Going forward, we could look at who has the training and the actual capacity to handle people who have mental illness and are armed and the unstableness to be able to use those firearms. Certainly we have that training, but how do we find others who have that training and have the capacity to handle it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week?
Harrison says he's also about to unveil a 40-hour crisis intervention training for the entire department. Now, the suspect, whose identity is not being released, was charged with assault. In northeast Baltimore, Abby Isaacs, WMAR 2 News.
Behavioral Health System Baltimore is sharing its thoughts on the shooting. Now, they've written in part, while focus in this incident has been on the police response, the solution has to go beyond policing. We often take for granted our emergency response system, police, fire, hospitals, to address these issues, but often they are not best suited for that specialized task, and they must broaden all across the board the behavioral health crisis services and other services people need. That's the response here tonight.